Right now, it is an afternoon here where I am, and I have been thinking about this topic for the past couple of months, ever since we released the video about how to get started in cybersecurity. But for today's session, it's about getting started in cybersecurity for 2025, which means that I have to be a lot more prescriptive. I have to be specific, because it's not cybersecurity for the rest of your life. It's cybersecurity for the year 2025. So we're time bounded to a year, which is from 1st January 2025 all the way to year end 2025. The first point I want to make about getting started in cybersecurity is that this is going to sound controversial, but cybersecurity is not an entry-level job. It is not. If you look at all the people who have transitioned, or majority of the people who have transitioned into cybersecurity, who are now working either as a security engineer, a penetration tester, or whichever, anything within the cybersecurity domain, you would notice they either come from a computer science background, some IT background, and then they're moving into cybersecurity, or sometimes they are already trained in the institution, the education institution that they went to. Which means that, and those takes years, by the way, those took years to get ready for a career in cybersecurity. And the reason is simple. Cybersecurity requires good foundational knowledge across the IT domain. Say, for example, you want to hack into a Windows computer or Windows server or Mac OS, whichever, right? Or Linux systems. You need to understand how to administer that. You need to understand how websites run on them. Are they using, say, for example, applications like Apache, Nginx? Which Linux operating system are they running on? Are they on premises or are they on a cloud? How are they interconnected? Do they have a database on the back end, or do they also install a database service inside the operating system itself? And all of this requires foundational knowledge that serves as the bedrock for you. And once you have the good foundational knowledge, you can start working on things on top of it. Which is, say, for example, there is a service running on a operating system, and you want to hack into it. Let's say you're trying to be a penetration tester. Foundationally, you know how they link, how they interact services, how the software interact with the operating system. So when you know that, it makes hacking a lot easier. And also at the same time, you're playing the role of a security engineer, playing the defense part. You know where the configuration files, what is the default configuration, what is considered as a secure posture for those services. So for the year of 2025, I know there have been many new technologies in the realm of generative AI for security. So my take is either go really deep and start understanding the foundation of things, or if you have already specialized in some parts of cybersecurity, do a tech refresher. Think about the new technologies, the new services that have been out, and do a refresh on that. Get better at the foundational piece so that it helps you work on the more advanced stuff like cybersecurity. So get the foundation right. The second part that I really want to share, remember this is for year 2025. There's a time bound to it, is that technology will always be evolving, always be changing. There will be new technology that is going to come out of 2025, and we don't know it yet. And we may be taken by surprise. Like, for example, when the world of generative AI or ChatGPT came out, it took the world by storm. And no one was prepared for it. So we need to have that continuous curiosity, continuous learning about all this new technology as they come up. As they take more mature stage in the world, we want to spend time And this is not something that is innate, that is inherent in us. It's something that you can work on. And this is where you go into that new technology, that new service that's now getting wider adoption across businesses or organizations, and you start learning them. And think of it as a muscle, all right? The more you train yourself to be curious, the more you automatically be curious. So when a new service, a new technology comes up, go up and read it. A new CVE, common vulnerability exposure, go and read it. And it will become natural to you as this new technologies, new services, new exploitation techniques come up, you automatically look into it, look into documentation, and really try to learn and understand it. So that's important because we don't know what will come up in 2025. Getting hands-on is incredibly important because when you have an opportunity to get hands-on, you're not just downloading data into your mind. So when you're reading the documentation, you're watching the videos, you are downloading, you're scrapping the data. You're like a bot that is crawling through the internet, looking out for all this different type of data. But when you are getting hands-on, you're experimenting with things, those downloaded knowledge cements inside your mind, and it makes you so much more believable. It makes you so much more specific in your recommendations. It makes you that much better. And I really recommend that you get hands-on. And not just getting hands-on, try having a blog. Try having like a personal GitHub project page. Try to experiment with things, innovate on things, and document them down so that prospective employers could look at your portfolio easily, online, self-service, on demand, and be able to assess your skills. Be able to put a scoring on your skill quickly. And it is important for your own personal branding. Because if you can do that, then that means more people reach out to you, you have better connections, you demonstrate that you are able to be competent and capable in the domain and the realm of cybersecurity. You spend time, your personal time, to work on things that truly matters, that you have self-initiatives, that you don't have to wait for someone to do something for you to do something. And you go out there and make things happen. And that's so important because think about from the perspective of a business or organization. The ultimate goal for them is to not get hacked. And if you have that bias to work for action, to make things happen, it means that when a business hires you, they know that you will do things for the business, to protect the business so that the revenue, the core applications can continue to run while you provide recommendations and security to those systems. The final point I want to say is a little straightforward, and yet at the same time, I see that there are people opposing it, which is to get certified. Getting certified on cybersecurity is important. I know there are factions who say that, hey, certification does not really demonstrate your true skills in cybersecurity. I don't think so. From a business perspective, from an organization perspective, for prospective employers, when you're looking at hundreds of resumes or CVs that have been submitted for a specific job, they're going to filter by certificates because they don't really know what you know, unless you can benchmark yourself against specific standards, in this case, through certifications. So my take is this: you have to be so good from all the learn and be curious, from all of the hands-on work that you do, from understanding and diving deeper into all these different domains. Certifications should be something that comes along with your experience. It should be something that did not require rote learning, where you memorize things and then just dump them out in the exams. Well, not that way, but in another way, which is that you have so much skills that taking the certification and passing them, it's something that comes naturally. Of course, you can always game it by doing memory dumps on them. And that's fine. That's okay as well. Getting certified helps you stand out, and you should do that. And you should continue to do that, because there's going to be hundreds of applicants per job posting. And if they look at your CV or your resume and say, hey, why does this person have 0 cybersecurity certification, even though they are in a cybersecurity role, an IT role? Perhaps this person is not really curious. This person is not really interested in the cybersecurity domain. But you having that certification makes you stand out. It opens the door for you. It may not guarantee a job, but it opens the door for you, and you have a shot at it. That's all I have to share for today. All the best for 2025. I'll see you next year. Take care.